Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitatvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the Panchadasi, 11th chapter of Vidyaranyas, and from the 11th to 15th, the discussion is related to Brahmanandam. That means the pure happiness that one gets, one established, I am Brahman. That is the highest happiness, and all other happiness that one gets in is only a reflection of that only. So we are going about roundabout way to get the happiness when we are searching for happiness. Everyone is searching for happiness only. But where they find happiness, I want this for my happiness, you want that and that for your happiness. So everyone is going after different objects depending upon their vasanas, because they think that will give happiness, whereas I think this will give me happiness, whereas for you this doesn't give happiness, because your raga dveshas, your likes and dislikes differ from my raga dveshas. So whole life is spent in trying to fulfill our raga dveshas, but in the process of fulfilling raga dveshas we acquire new ones. It's like trying to satisfy or put out the fire by pouring a ghee or petrol into it. You don't put out, you make it more and more blazing. So any fulfillment of desires will give you more reinforcement of to repeat that experience if it is favorable, and or to avoid that experience if it is unfavorable, and favorable depending upon my mind, not on the object per se. Same coffee will be, people like it, some people don't like coffee, they like tea. So depending upon the same object doesn't give happiness across the board, because there is no happiness in the object. The happiness is coming from when the mind is satisfied by fulfilling a desire, the mind has temporarily become quiet, and the Satchidananda Brahman, which is the consciousness that I am, is getting reflected in the quietened mind, and the quieted state of mind, the reflection of the happiness, is what we call I am happy, this brings me happy, and so on. So happiness is not outside, so happiness comes from one side. And Vishayananda, here the Vidyaranya talks about Brahmananda, that is pure happiness, and the other happiness that I get depends upon the nature of the vasanas and nature of the indulgence in the objective, the sense objects. So they are called Vishayananda, Vasanananda, and Brahmananda. This is how we are classifying that. So in the case of Brahmananda, that is the best and most highest, and that is the greatest happiness that one can get. But to get that, mind has to be quiet. Quietening of the mind is essentially purification of the mind. Mind is quiet in the deep sleep state because you are tired of it. But in the waking state, to be quiet is mind should not be longing for, running over for, I want this object, I want that object. You cannot stop the mind from running, because that is the nature of the mind. Only way to stop the mind running after externally for extrovert objects is to make the mind is self-satisfied. That means it does have to recognize that there is no happiness out there, happiness comes inside. That is what is called purification of the mind. So the more the mind is purified, the more one experience of the Brahmananda, and once we experience that Brahmananda, that becomes more and more addictive in a way. Vasana, Brahmananda Vasana becomes a compelling reason for the mind to go more and more in that state. That's what is being discussed now. So it is the mind that is responsible for both the bondage and the liberation also. A purification of the mind will help for liberation, whereas the mala or impurity in the mind is running after like a rat race. I want this, continuously going after objects is because of the impurity in the mind. A rajasic or tamasic mind. A sattvic mind is the mind that is conducive to turn inwards. An introverted mind is sattvic mind, and that is the mind that really sees the happiness that comes because of pure reflection of Brahmananda. Now we are looking at the nature of the mind here, and in the 1116 we will take Mano hi dvividham proktam, Mano hi dvividham proktam, Suddham cha suddham eva cha, Suddham cha suddham eva cha, Asuddham kama samparkat, Asuddham kama samparkat, Suddham kama vivarjanat, Suddham kama vivarjanat. So together, Mano hi dvividham proktam, Suddham cha suddham eva cha, Asuddham kama samparka, Suddham kama vivarjanat. So here is classifying the mind as across the board as a two types. So it is a purified mind and impurified mind. Even Bible says the blessed are those whose minds are pure. Means that is a blessing. Or how do you purify? That's called in the JK terminology, it's unconditioning the mind, is a purified mind. How do you condition? Conditioning is all the impurities. Here is Vedanta talks about manaha, he indeed, dvividham proktam is under two classifications. Suddham cha, asuddham eva cha. Either the purified mind or impure mind. So impurity, purity are not actually 100%. There's a degree of purity as we'll see. But here in a broader classification, that which is predominantly impure or predominantly pure. So that's why Suddham cha, asuddham eva cha. Asuddham kama samparkat. The impurities come. How do you get mind become impure? By kama samparkam, by fulfilling the desires or by associating with the desire about what? About the objects outside, sense objects. So that mind which has attachments to the sense objects is called the impure mind. Asuddham kama samparkat. Samparka means contact with the objects of desire. Suddham kama vivarjanat. And the one which has given up, how do you given up the contact with the sense objects? Only by turning inwards. That's called, Krishna calls it sannyasa yoga. Sannyasa means renunciation, yoga means attachment. So attachment detachment technique. That's how Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda used to say, it is a attachment detachment technique. Attachment detachment technique is what? Attaching to myself to the higher so that I can detach from a lower. So you have to hold on to the higher before you leave the lower, otherwise you will fall down. So hold on to his feet so that you can leave the other things, and that is called attaching the mind to the higher values and therefore giving up in the lower. This is required for any success in life. Even for objective success, I have to give up lower in order to gain the higher. So if I want to get first class, I have to give up all my mind to dissipating thoughts to go and play, etc., and hook up my mind to the goal that I want to achieve. So that is what a sannyasa yoga. That's how mind can be purified, and the same applies to the Adhyatmika Vidya also. So here the giving up the attachments to the lower is what is called Suddha, and so purified mind, and I cannot give up unless I have the mind can hold on to something higher. Now he quotes from the Upanishad 117. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoh bandhaya vishayasaktam mukchai nirvishayam srutam. Together, manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishayasaktam mukchai nirvishayam srutam. So this sloka comes in two Upanishads. So that is what was the Upanishad? Maitrayini Upanishad is not same as Brihadaranyaka. Maitrayini Upanishad, and it is a 6:34:11. That is the sixth chapter, 34th and 11, 34 section and 11 mantra, I guess. And also in the Amrita Bindu Upanishad also this comes in the second mantra. So manayeva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayoho, the very famous sloka. So mind, manayeva, mind alone, is for manushyanam, for human beings. Karanam, bandha and moksha. It is responsible for both bondage as well as liberation also. So you have to get liberated with the mind only, not without the mind. So go beyond the mind, and all that has to be correctly understood what really means. Not going the mind means not keeping the mind dead. Mind has to be there, and mind will be there until you get liberated. Mind will be there. So karanam bandha mokshayo. In fact, until the life is there, mind will be there. Life is nothing but reflection of consciousness as a chidabhasa in the mind, making the mind alive as though conscious entity. So that is there as long as there is a life there. So you cannot lose the mind. But what it amounts to is, it is responsible for both bondage as well as liberation. That's what the Upanishad says. Manayeva manushyanam karanam, for bandha as well as mokshayoho. Bandhaya vishayasaktam muktai nirvishayam srutam. What is bondage and what is liberation? Bondage is when the mind is attached to the vishayas, that means to the objects, sense objects. That is itself is bondage. Why is it bondage? Because my happiness depends upon the objects outside. So if I have the objects, I am happy. If I don't have the objects, I am unhappy. So my happiness depends on that. It can be object or it can be person also. In the next chapter, is going to talk about Maitreyi Brahmana, where is the love for other objects. He is going to discuss that. That is in the 12th chapter of this Panchadasi, which comes from, of course, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Maitreyi Brahmana. But here, the desire to have an object, Vishayanandaha, is Vishayasaktaha. So asakta means longing for the object is called bondage. Not having objects, longing to have the object is the bondage. Means dependence on the object for my happiness is a bondage. Mukchaihi nirvishayam srutam. If I give up that longing, means it doesn't matter whether the object is there or not. Not that I am hating any object. It doesn't matter whether it comes or not. It is immaterial to me. Udasinam, that's what we discussed before. Then that is called liberation. So mind can be liberated by not depending on the objects, by recognizing that happiness comes from one's own self. We'll do 118. Samadhi nirdhuta malasya chetasaha, Samadhi nirdhuta malasya chetasaha, niveshitasyatmani yat sukham bhavet, nivesitisyatmani yat sukham bhavet, nasakyate varnayitum giratada, nasakyate varnayitum giratada, swayam tadantah karanena gruhyate, swayam tadantah karanena gruhyate. Together, samadhi nirdhuta malasya chetasaha, niveshitasyatmani yat sukham bhave, nasakyate varnayitum giratada, swayam tadantah karanena gruhyate. So suddenly the Vidyaranya changing the meter here. So something poetic, therefore he is changing the meter. So samadhi nirdhuta malasya chetasaha. So the mind purified by the samadhi from the rajas and tamas, samadhi means it is equanimous. It doesn't matter whether the objects come or not. it has no dependence on the objects, therefore it is impertinent, udasinam. So mind is equanimity with respect to the objects, that is samadhi also. Samadhi nirdhutam alasya chetasaha. So the mind purified by the samadhi. From here we talk about rajas and tamasic, the gunas, by practicing the pure sattvic guna, that samadhi, samatvam. Nivesita syat atmani. So one who has niveshanam in the atmani, who is abiding in one's own self, not in the outside object, is reveling in himself by himself. So atmani eva atmanatushtaha. So that is what sita prajnaha, that what Krishna calls. So one who has withdrawn from and is not stoned, but he is reveling in himself by himself, because the self he revels is the source of happiness, and therefore the atmani nivesitasya yat sukham bhaved. So the extent of happiness that one feels depending upon how much he revels in himself. Nasakyate varnayitum gira. That kind of happiness that one gets there in that state of mind where mind is in union with oneself, and nasakyate varnayitum gira. The happiness that one gets is you cannot describe it. No words can reach there, because even to describe the Satchidananda, so navagacchati namanaha. So the mind is reveling in that, and in that happiness one cannot explain or describe how much happiness it is. Swayam tat antahkaranena grushyate. Then how am I going to experience? It is swayam antahkaranena grushyate. By mind turn inwards, antahkaranam is inner instruments. So mind turn inwards is antahkaranam, is through introverted, contemplative, in that direction it enjoys the happiness that one gets, and that is swayam tadantahkaranena grushyate. It can be grasped by oneself. There is no subject object triputi will not be there, but ananda will be there, just as in the deep sleep state that we started in the beginning of this chapter. 119. Yajjapyesau chirankalam samadidurlabho nunam tadapichaniko brahmanandam nischayayat together. Yajjapyasau chirankalam samadidurlabho nunam tadapichaniko brahmanandam nischayayat. So having established in that state of pure samadhi, or in the brahmananda, or when the mind is yoked in that with that aham brahmasmi, I am not this but I am Brahman, I am infinite, therefore my mind doesn't need anything else, I am full by myself as I am. That is the happiness, brahmananda. So one mind cannot remain in that state for very long, because there is always something pushing you back. So yajjapi asau chirakalam samadhi durlabho nunam. For even though it is difficult for human beings to keep reveling in himself by himself all the time, so in that chirakalam, for long, nunam samadhi durlabha, to keep the mind in the samadhi is difficult. Yajjapi, even though asau tadapi chaniko brahmanandam, so that even the momentary happiness that one gains in that brahmananda is reveled even when the mind is involved in the external world. So chaniko brahmanandam, so nischayaya chasau, so nischayayati asau. So one gets firm conviction of that is the real happiness, and not this other things which is only reflected happiness. So once you have tasted that highest happiness, you don't have much interest in the other happiness at all. So automatically you become vairagi. because other things will not please you that much as the once you have gone to a highest resort, then you don't want to go into 2-star hotels anymore. Once you enjoyed the 5-star hotel, in the same way, once you enjoyed the highest happiness, you don't want to go indulge in the other happiness. 120. Shraddhaluhu vyasani yotra Shraddhaluhu vyasani yotra Nischinotcheva sarvada Nischinotcheva sarvada Nischitetu Sakruttasmin Nischitetu Sakruttasmin Visvasityanyadapyayam Visvasityanyadapyayam. Together, Shraddhaluhu vyasani yotra Nischinotcheva sarvada Nischitetu Swakruttasmin Visvasityanyadapyayam. Shraddhaluhu, the one who has a full faith in this, Vyasaniyam Atra Sarvada, and one who strives for all the time, Vyasani, Sarvada, all the time, Vyasani, he tries to survive. Once you have a little experience of this moment, then from then on you withdraw all your other things and want to contemplate on that because you know the value of it. So Shraddhaluhu, therefore faith comes by if you have a experience of that momentary happiness of the Brahmananda. Shraddhaluhu, ones who have full faith. So Vyasaniyaha Atra Sarvada. So one strives fast for all the time. Nischinoti eva. So he will definitely discover that infinite happiness even for moments. Sakrutaha asmin nischitetu visvata. So anyadapyam. So even if he ascertains the absolute truth, even at other times also, he keeps remembering that alone, and because that gives a strong impression, because that happiness becomes overpowering than any other. Therefore, even at other times also, even when he cannot remain in that state forever, even at that time, so he will be reveling the memory of that itself. Why, it was so beautiful, and that memory, Ananda Vasana, Brahmananda Vasana he will be experiencing even in the other things outside. 121. So it is a state of the liberated, or the one who experienced the Brahmananda is being discussed here now. Tadruk Pumanudasina Kalepi Anandavasanam Udasina Kalepi Anandavasanam Upechya Mukhyamanandam Bhavayacheva Tatparaha. Together, Traduk Pumanudasina Kalepi Anandavasanam Upechya Mukhyamanandam Bhavayacheva Tatparaha. So Taduk Puman, so that person who has experienced that state of Brahmananda, even though he cannot remain there forever, when he comes back into the transactional world, then how does he behave? He says, Udasina Kaleyapi, even at the other times also, Ananda Vasanam, that Brahmananda Vasana, that impression of the highest happiness that he experienced, that impression will continue even in the transactional world. So he will be reveling in himself even outside also. So Ananda Vasanam, Vasanananda Upechya, other times also, Ananda Vasanam, Vasanananda, that means the Vasana generated because the mind is not completely purified, because that's why it's coming down. And therefore, even if he is indulging in the Vasanananda that we discussed before, or Vishayananda that we discussed before, his reveling of the previous Ananda, that Brahmananda Vasana will be lingering still, and therefore he will have Udasinam. He has no major interest in the happiness that one gains in the objective happiness. He will enjoy it. At the same time, he does not care that much. Therefore, if it comes, is okay. If it doesn't come, also okay. So when Mahatma, if the food he likes it, if you give it, he enjoys the food. But he reveling on the other ananda more than reveling. Therefore, he has upeksha. So he essentially ignores or udasinam. He is impertinent to the pleasures of the outside pleasures. So ignoring other things. Mukhya anandam bhavayati eva tatparaha. So he will be only thinking of that happiness that, and he will be reveling. Actually what happens is, he will be seeing the glory of that only. It's my only glory. So actually he enjoys that only, even in this also. A real Mahatma also what happens is, even while enjoying this beautifully, he enjoys as beauty like any other, but in the enjoyment he brings that this is only that enjoyment I am using, because he has knowledge that all Ananda is coming from that only. So while indulging in the experiencing the Vishayananda, he revels the Brahmananda only in the Vishayananda too. That's what one should be a real, but until then it has to be by practice. So in the sense, he ignores the Vishayananda, his dependence on longing for it, he ignores it, but he ignores that this is a part of Ishvara Srushti, or is Ishvara Vibhuti, or beauty of the Lord in this form I am enjoying, or to be more, is my own glory I am enjoying. So either way, he keeps the mind back to that memory itself. How does he memory? Now he gives some examples here that I don't know how Vijayaranya is familiar with it. We'll say 122. Paravyasanini nari, vyagrapi gruha karmani, tadevasvadayam chantaha, parasangarasayanam, paravyasanini nari, vyagrapi gruha karmani, tadevasvadayam chantaha, parasangarasayanam. So here he gives a Laukika example here, just as a Nari, a Stri, Paravyasanini Nari, a Stri who is attached to the addiction of others, whatever that means. So one who enjoys the company of other, obviously you're talking about other males. So Paravyasanini Nari, Stri who is addicted to others, Vyagdapi Gruha Karmani, even while she is not enjoying the company of other men, and even while she is performing the activities, Gruha Karmana, Vyagrapi Gruha Karmani, even while performing the activities of the related to the house, so even in the duties of the house, Parasanga Rasayanam Tat Eva Asvadayanti Antaha. So she will be reveling in the happiness she got in the association with the other men, while performing even the daily activities. Mind will be reveling somewhere. So just as some people, mind always will be reveling in something that enjoyed while performing. This is also true for not necessarily Paravyasini Nari, a devoted wife also, while if he thinks that husband is coming, so the wife will be busy working, cleaning everything and doing all that, but reveling in the husband's coming and so on. So her mind is reveling in that. She is with her husband, even though her activities are going on here, and as beautifully, because she wants to beautify to impress her husband. So the mind always will be reveling in that what you enjoy. Some people mind revels in the suffering also, because like a video, and they become neurotic also, because of mind keeps reveling in the repeating the same video. But here we are talking about Ananda anyway. 123. Evam tatve pare suddhe, dhiro vishranti magataha, tadeva asvadayanti, antarbahihi vyavaharannapi. So same way that evam, in the similarly, pare tattve suddhe, the one who is enjoying the paratattvam, the highest reality, absolute reality. Dhiraha, that wise person, so one who has a buddhi, with the dhi, the one who has established his mind in that, intellect in that. So Vishrantimagataha, so one who has discovered that peace that passeth all understanding. Tatyeva aspadayanti, he revelings in that only, just as the lady is reveling in the happiness that she experiences even while doing activities. The same way, a realized person who enjoyed that, even when he comes down, he enjoys the same happiness. Tat eva aswadayanti antarbahi vyavaharaha. Either he is actively involved inside or outside, he will be reveling that happiness only. So the mind will be essentially in that state of understanding even when he is transacting in the world. That's why called Atma Krida, Atmarati. When he is reveling there, it's called Atmarati. When he is outside playing, it's called Atma Krida, because there is nothing other than himself only. With that, we'll stop and continue from the next sloka on. We'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi